we ready, Kit? You ready to go have another adventure? Are we? Okay. So we are departing Cathedral Gorge State Park, primitive camping area. They call it overflow here. And I'm on a curve, so backing up is a little dicey. I want to stay on the actual road. There we go. And I don't know which order this is going to happen in. I had a neighbor here last night, and then a different neighbor the night before last. But I guess they're all gone now. These people were here when I got here, and their tag says they're staying until May 4th. I camped here for free $99 because I have a Nevada State Park senior pass. So I pay $30 for an annual pass, and then I camp free without hookups. So not quite sure what order we're going to do this in. Nice bathhouses over here to the left, and then there's another one over here to the right as well. We're going to get fresh water before we leave the park because I'm a little concerned that the water might be shut off at the next park we're going to. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up while we're here. And then I also want to go drive over to the left there where more of the slot canyons are. We walked down there this morning. But as I understand it, there is also overflow camping over there from talking to the ranger yesterday. So I want to go take a look at that. And so I don't know if we're getting water first or if we get over there first. I think we're getting water first. We're not going to bother dumping tanks though. We'll just, carry that around with us for another week or so. Although to a certain extent, it really seems like you should take advantage of it whenever you can. But I'm planning to be in at least 2 state parks over the next week. So it'll be available to me. And I talked about this in the video this morning when I was talking about the difference between boondocking and dry camping. So this is not boondocking. Even though there aren't any hookups where I was camped, it's not boondocking. It's dry camping. And the difference is, boondocking, you don't have any amenities. You got to pack out your trash. There's no water available. You got to, have your own facilities available for bathing and, toilet and doing dishes and all of that kind of stuff, because there's nothing there for you. But dry camping, here, all of that stuff's available to me. And in fact, if I wanted to pay $10 a night and there was a space available, I could have had, I guess we're going to go down to the slot canyons first. The dump station and water is out to the right on the exit lane. Yeah, overflow camping down this way, it says. So we're going to go look. Because I'll tell you what, the next time I come here, that's probably where I'll go. Because I can pretty well guarantee that at night, there ain't going to be anybody else down here. Most people don't want to be this far away from bathrooms and stuff. But it doesn't bother me at all. And I like dry camping when I'm in Nevada State Parks, in part because there's a lot of... The Nevada State Parks are pretty cool. There's always a lot of stuff to look at, like the slot canyons here are a lot of fun. I'm heading up to either Ward Charcoal Ovens or Cave Lake today. I'm going to try Ward Charcoal Ovens, but that's the one that I'm concerned might not actually be open. I tried calling yesterday and the phone just rang and rang and rang. And when I looked at the reservation site, it didn't show any reservations available until May 1st. But then on Google it says that it's open 24 hours, so I don't know. We'll find out. Alright. Let's see what we got here. So they got a pay station. So is this the overflow? I wonder. Be a-okay. There's a circle around there. And it may be that you can pull up here into this area. Because see, they've got it blocked off across there. That's pretty nasty. Yeah, I'll definitely come back here again because I'm still recovering from the broken foot. I can't really walk that far. I did about a mile this morning, but you know, I didn't, ooh, very cool. Didn't really get up into the slot canyons much. I walked up into one a little bit and met a guy who was coming back out, I guess, with his kid. You'll see him on the other video that I shot. Alright, we're not going to go all the way down here if there's enough room for me to turn around here. Oh, there is probably enough room for me to turn around down here, maybe. Hello. Hello. And I'm going to do it this way so you can kind of get a look up here into the canyons better. Also, because as I'm backing up, I'm only going to hit bushes behind me and not posts. But I don't think this is going to be a three-point turn. Isn't that cool looking now? And there's a trailhead up at the top where you can well, you can do it from the bottom or from the top, but there's steps and stuff. You can hike all the way from the top down to the bottom. And of course I can't do that either under these circumstances. But I would definitely come back here again. And I'm not quite sure if the overflow is up here where this gray car is, or if it's further down that way. Or if it's just any place along here that you want to camp. Oh, or maybe it's here where there's a water spigot. Oh, look at this. Okay, well, why don't we just fill up the water right here instead of going to the dump station? Assuming the water is 1, so let's check that first.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Okay, well, we are watered. And I got some vacuuming done while I was waiting for that to happen. There is absolutely no signal over here, I just realized. So I would not be overflow camping here. But yeah, this is the overflow camping area. $15 for residents, $20 for non-residents. And I saw the people that have been camped next to me drove past while we were here getting water. So I think they just drove over to look at the slot canyons, would be my guess. Alright, we've got 165 miles on the clock. We might need to get gas today. Yeah, we might wait. I don't know. Tough call. I think we've only got about 120 miles to go. That would put us at 280. We'd still be pretty well above a quarter of a tank. I guess it will depend on whether or not I see a gas station that looks appealing to me. So today is Wednesday, April the 23rd. It is currently 71 degrees outside and overcast. I think it's supposed to be sunny again tomorrow. And part of the reason I want to go toward charcoal ovens instead of Cave Lake today is that the temperature should be warmer there. Because the overnight lows at Cave Lake look like 30s, which is not super awesome. I mean, we can deal with it. So if, for example, the low is going to be 32, that usually only hits for a couple of hours very early in the morning, and we can pretty well withstand that, because even if the outside temperature is 32, I just realized this morning actually, I keep the heat set at 31 overnight, sorry, at 61 overnight, which means it comes on at about 58, 59 degrees. Yeah, so see this trailer over here, he's at the dump station, and I could have gotten water there, but I'm glad I did it where I did because it was much more convenient and it wasn't near poop. So that was cool. Remember that one for the next time, guys. Okay, good, I got a signal, so let me get my directions in real quick. Okay, so 111 miles. So we can do it. If we see gas along the way, we'll probably stop. Otherwise, when we leave there, I think we're going to be going into Ely before too awful long. And it's, oh, I didn't give you a time check. It's 11:15 in the morning now. So, I gotta say, I love my life, I really do. We got up this morning, we had coffee. What's this? Regional Information Center. Oh, with restrooms and stuff. Okay, well, we don't need that. We got up and we lounged around on the sofa and drank coffee and cuddled. And I doom scrolled a little bit. And then I took care of something that was really important, actually. And you should be hearing this in a fairly timely manner. If you have, and I got this from somebody else, I mean, I didn't just make this up, I got it based on an article I read by Suze Orman, who is a renowned financial advisor. If you have money in a conventional IRA, whether it be a SEP IRA or an individual IRA or a 401k IRA, there's all kinds of different IRAs. If you've got a regular IRA and you can afford to pay the taxes, or if you can't afford to convert the entire thing, but you can afford to pay taxes on a portion of it during 2025, really good advice is to convert part or all of your IRA to a Roth IRA, and here's why. The stock market has taken a hit with, and I don't want to hear any political stuff about whether you believe our administration, our federal administration is doing a great job or not. The fact is that the stock market has taken a hit over the past week or so. And what that means is that if you take advantage of that opportunity to convert your conventional IRA, all of it or part of it, whatever you can afford to pay taxes on this year, to a Roth IRA, while the market is down, you will be having a much smaller tax hit than if you do it while the market's up. This was important to me because I actually intended to do it before the end of last year and forgot. Because I could afford to pay it on my 2024 taxes and I can afford to pay it on my 2025 taxes. So I'm actually kind of glad that I waited, because if I had done it last year, the market would have been up and I would have been at a financial disadvantage at that point. So I did that this morning. I converted all of my SEP IRA, self-employed pension, individual retirement account, that's what the SEP IRA stands for, to my Roth IRA. And what's important about that is that now I will have already paid taxes on that money. Oh, there's another caveat too. You have to not need that money for 5 years. If you're going to need that money within 5 years, don't do it, because you got to wait 5 years or pay taxes on it. I don't think there are any penalties as long as you're at least 59 and a half. But so now I have, by the end of this year, I will be paying taxes on that money for this year, in which I really have basically no income. And at the end of the day, hoping that the markets, you know, oh, the point is closed? You can't even go to the point? Somebody's out there. Okay, so if we turned left here and drove out to Miller Point, then that's where the hike is that goes all the way down to the bottom. But, oh, it says park closed. Huh. Wonder how that truck got in there. There's the hike that goes down to the bottom, or you can do it from the bottom up to the top, but we can't do it today regardless. I guess I should take my speed up a little bit, since the speed limit's 70 and I'm doing 45. Let's work on that. So back to the whole IRA thing. If you convert it to a Roth IRA, then all of the gains on that money are not taxable. So I have now put as much as I can into a Roth IRA, unless I actually make income in the ensuing years, which I doubt that I will. So things like investment income and stuff like that doesn't count. Capital gains on investments, none of that stuff counts. So I feel pretty good about that. Now, I can't touch that money for 5 years. That's okay. I've got other money I can touch if I need to. And then the other thing that I need to do, which I have not done yet, is I think I'm going to look at bank rate again, but I think I'm going to close out my Discover Bank account and move that over to a Vanguard bank account, because I think it earns more than Discover does. But I haven't looked at that yet, because comparatively, that's small potatoes. But that's money that I keep liquid for my emergency fund and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so we've got 87 miles of this, and then we'll be turning left onto US 50 West, US 6 West, and US 95 North. And we've spent plenty of time on US 50 and US 6 in the east as well. What's interesting to me is that, you know, US 50 ends at Ocean City, Maryland, and we went to the end of that. I think I lost that footage though. But that doesn't feel as far north to me as I feel like we are now in Nevada. So I'm gonna have to look at an overall map of the United States and see, you know, where that lies on the east-west continuum. Are they pretty close? I mean, they probably are. It just doesn't feel that way to me. I feel like I'm much further north than I would be in Ocean City, Maryland. Alright, we're going to have some beautiful scenery, but I'm not going to bring you along for all of it. If we see something else spectacular, I'll hop back on. We're still 24 miles from turning on to US 50, US 6, US 95 North. US 50 being known as the loneliest road, loneliest highway. But I want to point out, I mean, I can just barely see the vehicle way up ahead of us there, and there is nobody that I can see behind us. This has been a pretty lonely road, and we've been on it for about 50 miles, I think, already. So, yeah, US 50 has nothing on US 93 at this stage of the game. The mountains surrounding this valley have been beautiful. We just drove past a series that had snow on top. We're over 6,000 feet in elevation. Back up to 70 degrees, yay for that. For quite a while we've been like 65, and I'm thinking, wonder if I'm going to end up being cold when I get to this park, but I think it'll be fine. And it's just, you know, a beautiful day. We can see snow up on the mountains over there to the right. So those mountains summits are fairly tall because, as I said, we're over 6,000 feet. And it's just a beautiful day. And I'm feeling tired. I'm like ready for a nap. Can't imagine why. 304 miles from Twin Falls, Idaho. I think we'll be going through there on our way back after we come from the Oregon coast. We shall see. So we're passing a chain up area right here. We're at about 6,150 feet in elevation, and that big peak straight up ahead and off to the right a little bit is Wheeler Peak at 13,000 something. I think it was 13,061. So there's quite a bit of difference in elevation between here and there. And we're only a mile and a half from our turn to US 50, US 6, US 95. Temperature's dropping again. We're back down. We were up to 71 at one point. We're back down to 67. But we've picked up a nice strong signal, so we still have 21 miles to go to our destination. No idea what the signal will be like when we get there. But we've had no signal for quite a bit of the drive. And regardless of what else happens, I'm going to have to come back out. Like, I come back out anyway to go to Ely, to go through Ely, I think, to my next destination. So I'm going to need fuel though. I'm down to a half a tank now. Majors Junction. Wonder who Majors is. And the wind is pretty strong. I don't think I've ever been to Delta. I have been to Ely more than once. And I can't remember. I'm pretty sure when I've done the cross-country motorcycle trips, we've come up 95 out of Vegas. Well, maybe not, because we would often go through Death Valley and then come up 93. And a few miles back, 5 or 10, I saw a turn off to the right for Shoshone. I kind of want to look and see where that is in relation to where we are, because that's just outside of Death Valley. So that's kind of interesting. Great Basin off to the right. I may go back and try that again at some point, but not this trip. "26 miles to Ely, 26 miles to Route 26, 14 miles to our next turn." And we're definitely climbing again. We're up to 6,550 feet already. It's very pretty country here. I just hope it's not super cold overnight, since I'm not going to have hookups. Well, and this could end up turning into a very long day. If I get to Ward Charcoal Oven and it turns out that it's not open at all, and I can't find some place to camp around there, then before I can go to Cave Lake, I think I'll have to go to Ely and get fuel, just to feel comfortable with that. But let's not invite trouble. Let's just see what we got when we get there. How high do you think we're going? Pretty sure we're not going to 13,000 feet like Wheeler Peak. Pretty sure of that. actually reminds me a little bit of parts of the Eastern Sierras. Well, I didn't have the camera off for very long at all. We passed a sign that said we are now in Humboldt National Forest, which I thought also ran into California. So again, I want to get the big map book out and look at this when I get stopped and get my head oriented a little better. We are over 7,000 feet, and shortly after the Humboldt National Forest sign was a sign that said truck lane 1 mile, which means that we're going to continue going up for quite some time, apparently. Very pretty. Truck shoes, right lane. Slower traffic, keep right. Well, that'll be me. I'm always in the realm of slower traffic. Look, here's a car. Well, not a very long truck lane. Sky's looking a little bit better too. We were, it was looking like we were just going to be driving into overcast. But this is looking nicer. Sun's out nice and bright. And I did all of my big electrical cooking yesterday. Between, you know, baking the cake and running the blender, and this morning. I didn't actually look at the battery status before we left, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And I ran the blender this morning to make whipped cream cheese, which I think I'm going to add to my black bean cake, like frosting. I think that'll be extra good. Got some roasted almonds left over, so I don't need to make more almonds today. I've got leftover broccoli salad to add to greens for dinner tonight. And then I'll have to figure out something else for the next day or two. At that point, all I'll have left for vegetables will be one sweet potato, one onion, and part of a small head of cabbage. And it might just all get sauteed together, we'll see. Never know what it might turn out to be. We're up to 7,600 feet now. And I'm babbling because I'm kind of curious to see just how high we're going to go in elevation, knowing this isn't really doing my fuel economy any good. And I'm kind of looking forward to the next time I get fuel to see what kind of MPG I'm getting. I think it's going to be pretty good. I can't see the halfway mark, as in I'm not yet below the half a tank mark. And I've got 261 miles on the clock. So I think we're doing pretty well. Connors Pass, elevation 7722. Oh goody. And what goes up must come down for the next 4 miles. Okay, well now we know how high we were getting. And my ears are super closed up. Okay, so now we're leaving the Humboldt Forest. We are on a scenic route, it just told us. We're still at 7,300 feet in elevation. But the landscape has been just gorgeous. And one of the things that I like so much better about Henry, and I know I've said it before, as compared to my former rig, Isaac, is that the Ford E450 engine will engine brake, and the Mercedes Sprinter just did not. I mean, I had to ride my brakes going down hills like this just to maintain a reasonable speed. Back to almost no signal and down to 61 degrees. Of course, we're still over 7,000 feet in elevation, and I think we're coming down quite a bit more before we get to our destination. I thought our destination was like 5,000, 5,200 feet maybe, I don't know. Look at all that snow up there. Can you see it in the far distance? Man, I hope that shows up, because that's just beautiful. From the little bit that I can tell trying to look at the screen while I'm driving, the blue sky and white clouds are showing up beautifully. And now we are in Steptoe Valley. And I think there was a comment on one of my recent videos about going to the Steptoe River. So I'll have to look and see where that is too. Ward Charcoal Oven State Historic Site, 7 miles. Don't go past the street, Sal. Almost did. Oh. Awesome. 7 miles of dirt road, huh? Okay. Hopefully it's not too washboard. Looks okay initially. We shall see. But look at that view with the snow up on top of the mountains. Got a good strong signal right here. We'll see what we get when we get out there. 65 degrees. I think it's going to be colder than I was hoping for. So we may only spend one night here. And I still don't see the half tank mark exposed yet with 270 miles on the clock. Oh, apparently I'm speeding. Google says the speed limit is 35. So I'd say it's pretty good quality dirt road then. How beautiful. Wonder how busy it'll be out here. I'm guessing not very, but you know, you never know. What I do know is, and I'm seeing more and more people in campgrounds than there ever used to be. And I think part of that is the growing number of people that are basically, oops, a little bumpy here, that are basically full-time on the road and using campgrounds. And of course everything is a catch-22, because for those that want to be in campgrounds, it makes it harder to be able to get those sites. And for those who prefer just to be out on public land, but like me in general, well, it makes it harder to get those sites too, because more people are creating pressure on the public lands. And of course, when people behave badly on public lands, overstay their welcome, trample down the vegetation, leave their trash behind, all of those kinds of things. When that happens, public lands get closed. I have to say, overall, I'm pretty pleased with the quality of this dirt road. endured the entire thing with me. We got 3.5 miles to our next turn and just under 5 miles to our destination. And we do still have a signal, so there's good news. Let's just point this out in terms of rude behavior too. Can you see how much dust is being kicked up by this vehicle ahead of us? He should have already slowed down and cut his dust path. Before he got anywhere near me. Looks like a largest truck. And I don't want to drop off the edge of the pavement here. Yeah, look at this. Really, dude? So don't be that guy, okay? If you're traveling on a dirt road and you're creating a dust cloud, which I'm not, by the way, slow down before you hit oncoming traffic and let that dust settle so that they don't have to drive through it all. There's no reason for that. I think Google was going to take me directly to the charcoal ovens first, but I saw a sign for the campground up this way, and we got one bar right now, so I'm not very hopeful. Might just be here for tonight, because I don't really want to sit around with no signal for very long. And this is a case where having Starlink could be a good thing. I'm thinking about it. I got 2 bars. Oh, 3 bars. Well, maybe this will be okay. Certainly pretty. Legacy OHV Trail parking and Willow Creek Campground straight ahead. Does that say camping there too? Let's just see. Yeah, that looks like a camping sign there too. So, if there's no signal in the campground, maybe I'll come back down there. And there was a picnic table right there. So I could end up doing that. And we're back up to 7,000 feet and 64 degrees here at Willow Creek Campground. So let's just see what this looks like, shall we? Oh, it's one way. Okay, I don't think there are any utilities here. So regardless of where I camp, no fee for me. Is that a reservation on site number 1? Can't quite tell what that says. But it looks like site 2 is open. And I wonder if it's just that no reservations until May 1st, because it's technically not open. Well, I think we're going to drive all the way around the loop. And then we're going to pick a place and check our signals and see what we got. I don't think there's anybody here. And in part, I want to find the most open sky I can. Well, there's a water spigot. I wonder if the water's on. I think filling up before I came up here was probably a good idea. One bar up here. Here's an ADA site on the left. That's quite nice. Oh, it looks like they got vault toilets. I think there's going to be another ADA site here. Yeah. I got 2 bars here though. I think I might just take that. Oh, there's somebody here. Okay, I got 2 bars right here. That's probably the camp host. Okay, well, you've now seen the whole thing, and I'm going to figure it out. So I'll let you know what I decide. We're going to call this home for at least one night. We're within a degree of level in each direction. I am going to have to push the bushes out with my slide, but that's okay. I think it'll be fine. Hopefully we won't get too scratched up. And we've got a 79.8 megabit per second download speed, so I'll be able to stream. Won't be able to upload videos. So this is it.